And so many people can walk into a Torah lesson and not hear anything. You can walk out and someone says, "Oh, how was the lesson?" "Oh, it was very nice. I feel good." "Right, what did they share?" I don't remember. And sometimes it's just a memory thing. Sometimes it's that person wasn't moved, the person didn't hear it. So what does this all mean to us? Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Live with the Times. My name is Maynard Breslow. Grateful to be here and grateful for all of you. And today we are starting Parshas Yisroi, Parshas Yitro, and very personal parsha for me, as with all of Am Yisrael, because this parsha is the giving of the Torah. So much amazing stuff. Also, Shavuos, right? So this whole event we mark every year with Shavuos, and it's amazing that this parsha is given on Parshas Yisroi, because the name Yisroi is very unique, obviously, in the sense that, first and foremost, we know that the name of the parsha carries with it the weight of the entire parsha, right? That there's a connecting thread throughout the entire parsha based on the name. And so the question is, why is it Yisroi? There's also people who say that the parshiot, the name of the parshiot is has nothing to do with the theme and anything like that. That it just has to do with like the first word that is, that we can kind of separate, and this is how the rabbis wrote the Torah, and that this was the chosen thing, was just the first name. If that's the case, why was this parsha named Yisroi as opposed to Vayishma? Right? There's no Parshas Vayishma. It's not like the name was taken up or anything. Seems like a pretty good way to distinguish between this parsha, if that's the case, right? So, talking about that and talking as well about what is that kind of combining factor, and especially in this Aliyah, right? So in this Aliyah, what does Yisroi mean to us? So before I get into that, once again, thanks for being here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share the channel, and like the video, and tell me what Yisroel means to you, what the giving of the Torah means to you, and any other questions you may have. So, so this week's parsha, as I mentioned, starts off with Vayishma Yisroi kohen Midian hoysein Moshe es kol asher asa Elokim leMoshe uleYisrael amoy ki hoytzi Hashem et Yisrael miMitzrayim. Yisroi, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard all that Hashem, Elokim, actually had done for Moshe and for Israel, God's people, as Hashem brought Israel out of Mitzrayim. And the classic question is, great, what did he hear? What was it that he heard, right? Excuse me. Rashi says that he heard about the division of the Yam Suf, the Red Sea, and the war with the Amalek. Wow, that's fantastic. It's a good thing that somebody sent him like a direct message, like, hey, Moshe must have been DMing with him, been texting with him, and said, hey, father-in-law, guess what just happened? Hashem brought us out of Mitzrayim, and he split the Red Sea, and Amalek, we had a war with Amalek. Oh, wow, it's a good thing I'm the only one who knows. That's obviously not the case, right? We're talking about the world power here. The world power. Paro was the world leader. The entire world heard about this, right? The entire world heard about this. This was not something that, obviously there's Midrashim, even that the sea, not only was a sea split, but that every single water, body of water, a cup of water, everything split at this time. Hashem displayed his power over all of creation, pulled back the illusion of reality for everybody to see. And so even if you don't believe this, Midrash, whatever, How is it possible that not the entire world heard about this right away? Right? That the news didn't spread so quickly that everybody knew about this. So why is it specifically Yisroi heard? What is it about Yisroi? Well, Yisroi specifically, not only was he the father-in-law of Moshe, but what does it say even before then? It says that he was Kohen Midian, that he was the priest of Midian. Not only was the priest of Midian, but Yisroi had 7 names. Yisroi was one of them. Yisroi had actually been one of the advisors to Paro, and along with who? With Balak. Bilam. With Bilam, the evil sorcerer, the evil prophet, sorcerer, call it what you may. And they were 2 advisors to Paro. And so, what was it specifically about that then? All right, that it says that he was the first person to say Baruch Hashem. Later on here, it says Vayom Yisroi Baruch Hashem Asher Hitzil Eschem Miyad Mitzrayim Umiyad Paro Asher Hitzil Etz Ha'am Mitachas Yad Mitzrayim. And there's an interesting comment here. Here it says Baruch Hashem. The Yisroi said Baruch Hashem. Why does the Torah record Baruch Hashem? Just say because Yisroi was the first to say Baruch Hashem. And how is that even possible? How is it possible that Yisroi was the first to say Baruch Hashem? We know that already there's so many people who said Baruch Hashem. Well, you're telling me Avraham Avinu didn't say Baruch Hashem, all these things. What separated Yisroi among all the people, one of the things, the first thing, was that, as I said, he had been the priest of Midian. He had these 7 names. And it says of Yisroi that nobody had worshipped all the gods and done all of the different idolatries except for Yisroi. Yisroi was a person who was really, really searching for Hashem. He was really, really searching for the truth. Right? He wasn't doing the idolatry and all the things there because he wanted to get ahead. He just wanted to use power and all these things. Hashem knew sincerely in his heart that Yisroel wanted to come closer to Hashem. That this was his main motivation. He was searching for the truth. And so it says that about a person, right, that if you have looked and found, believe him. If you have not looked and found, don't believe him. Meaning that a person who's really tried and done things and this and that, if they say this is the truth, you should believe him. A person who hasn't tried anything, hasn't done anything, hasn't put any effort in anything, no toil in anything, and he says this is the truth, don't believe him. And so Yisroel for sure had the advantage, so to speak, the experience, the viewpoint of having had the experience of going out and trying all of the different idolatries and saying, nope, not it, nope, not it, nope, not it. Oh, that could be it. Nope, not it. Oh, wait, this one, this seems, nope, that's not it. And going through all of them until finally he heard and saw and experienced all this. And he's like, that is Hashem. This is the truth. This is the oneness. But that doesn't explain the fact of why specifically it's Vayishma Yisroi. Okay, fine, we can say that we understand why it's Parshas Yisroi, but why Vayishma Yisroi? What is it that he heard? Or we said that we heard, everybody heard. And as I mentioned as well, that this Parsha is very personal to me. Yisroi is also considered to be the first convert. Right, later on he comes and he says that he rejoiced over all the kindness that Hashem had done with Israel, and he delivered them from the Egyptians, and he came when he said Baruch Hashem. He then made a feast, and Aaron came with all the elders. V'chol ziknei Yisrael lechal lechem im chayisein Moshe lifnei ha'elokim. That Moshe and all the elders came to eat of this bread with the father-in-law of Moshe before Elokim. And the sages say that this was the meal that had the meal in celebration of Yisroel's conversion. Now myself, I'm actually a convert, right? I was raised Jewish. I have Jewish heritage from my parents, from my dad's side, and my parents converted. But many years later, as I was becoming observant, came to find out that my conversion would be deemed not halachically valid under the strictest terms of the sense. And so I also had to go through an Orthodox conversion along with my parents. And in the time of when I had, in that time in between where I had found out until the time that we finished the conversion, or at least made the decision to do the conversion, there's about 10, 11 years there that passed. In that time, much like Yisroi, I spent a lot of time searching through all of the different religions, ideologies, philosophies, and really searching. Really searching. And it wasn't until after that I came back to Judaism that I said, this is what I've been looking for the whole time. This is what I've been looking for. Been looking for something that's endless, that we're always going to have something to learn. You know, the Torah we can learn all our life, and it's never endless. It's never ending. And so one of the main things here is that Hashem, Baruch Hashem. What was it that made him convert? He heard, but also is Vayichad Yisroi al kol hatovah she'asa Hashem. That when we said that Yisroel rejoiced over all the kindness that Hashem had done for Israel by delivering them into the hands of the Egyptians, it's translated as he rejoiced, but the word is Vayichad, meaning he combined. He made into one all of the kindness that Hashem had done for delivering the Egyptians. That Yisroi, because he had this perception, this different experience of seeing how there's all these different things that people seem as though are different, and this must be God, and this isn't God, or this person did it, or this nation did it. Yisroi, because of his travels, his experiences, Yisroi was able to make sense of all of it and not combine it, right? But he was able to see the unity in the separation. And as we know later on in the Parsha, we'll get into it, that it says that when they camped in the mountain, that it's referred to in the singular sense. They, meaning Am Yisrael. And this is the first time and the last time up until very soon when Moshiach's going to be here, that it says that the Jews were one people, one heart. And this was really, the catalyst was really Yisroi, who says Vayichad. In fact, the sages argue on when this actually took place in terms of chronological order. Did this happen before the giving of the Torah? Or did this whole episode happen after the giving of the Torah? And so in one sense, we can understand why Yisroi is chosen as the name here, because he was the one in this Parsha that the oneness of Hashem is one, the Torah is one, and Israel is one. That really was Yisroi who had all this different experience of all these different things and said, no, it's not one God and this God. It's all Hashem. Everything's Hashem. Even when I was stuck in those darkness places and those horrible places, even as I was doing horrible things, is there another God? Is there something else? No, it's Hashem. Hashem creates everything. It's all one. There's no separation. There's no anything. This is the true essence. Just like a person can look at Am Yisrael and look and see, oh, this person looks like that person dresses like that, this person observes like that, this person observes like that, this person identifies as that, this person has this label or that label. Born into Am Yisrael, a convert, observant, Orthodox, modern Orthodox, Reconstructionist, Reform, Conservative, whatever, it doesn't matter. The names are endless. The labels are endless. And a person can say, what do you mean? It's all one. No one's coming and checking and asking what you are when they're coming to attack us. We saw that, unfortunately, on October 7th. That many of the people that were saying, we're making peace over here, we're doing things, comes with Shalom. What happened? They're not asking a person. The people who hate the Jews aren't asking the Jews what kind of Jew they are, and maybe they're not Jewish enough for them to hate them. Anti-Semites hate all of us. We're not going to change that by changing them. So it had to be that Yisroi, who it says Vayichad, that this was the person who the Torah was given in his name, in the parsha of his name. But that's not all. Because it says, Vayishma Yisroi. Vayishma Yisroi. We still haven't figured out what's the issue with Yisroi Vayishma. Very amazing. Haran. Very interesting lesson by Rebbe Nachman, Haran. It says that although everyone did hear the entire thing, that the splitting of the sea and the decimation of the Egyptians and the war with the Malek, it was only that Yisroel heard. Why? Because of his unique perspective. The whole thing was there, but only Yisroel was the one that was moved. He was the one that was moved. It entered his ears, and he actually heard. It actually moved him to do something. Right? And you see all the time we live in a world where so much is going on, and so many lessons are going on, and Hashem is teaching us things all the time, trying to speak to us, trying to give us messages all the time. And the world is not hearing. And unfortunately, Am Yisrael has to do a better job of hearing as well. That we know, just because we know that Mashiach's not here right now, not revealed right now. So it must be that we still need more to hear, that we need to listen more. Right? The Yisroel heard, the whole world heard, but Yisroel heard and he came. It entered his heart, and it motivated him to do something about it. So in that sense, it's considered as if the rest of the world didn't hear it all. Even though everybody heard the report, everybody read about it, everybody got it on Twitter and their news, wherever they get their news. Everybody had an opinion on it. Everybody was making comments on YouTube. Everybody was doing all these things. It was Yisro that came out of it. And Rebbe Nachman also says that the same corresponds to Torah lessons. That each person hears exactly what that person needs to hear. And it's based on each individual person's personal experience, their motivations, what it is that they're focused on. That everybody may hear the same lesson, but they hear completely different things out of it. And so many people can walk into a Torah lesson and not hear anything. They can walk out and someone says, "Oh, how was the lesson?" "Oh, it was very nice. I feel good." "Right, what did they share?" "Oh, I don't remember. And sometimes it's just a memory thing. But sometimes it's that the person wasn't moved. The person didn't hear. So what does this all mean to us? What it really means is that, first and foremost, all of us need to bring in our life experiences into our Yiddishkeit. Being a convert, it says about the converts that the converts are bad for the Jewish people. And some say that converts are bad for the Jewish people because they bring in their outside views and influence Jews to think a certain way and act a certain way. Another opinion says that they're bad for the Jewish people because the converts come and show the Jews, or the naturally born Jews, how to do Judaism better than them. So the main point is that it shouldn't be that the converts are coming in and influencing people negatively from their beliefs and from their experiences that were outside of Judaism. But it also can't be that the converts should go and look and just deny everything they've ever experienced and say, "No, I'll never speak of this again. I'm now going to just go into mainstream Judaism, and I'm just going to be completely go into the system and not influence anything at all." Yisroel is the one who came and had Vayichad. He's the one who came and brought the Yechidus, the oneness that came about between Am Yisrael and Hashem in the Torah. Same thing applies to people who are Baal Teshuvas. That are Baal Teshuva, not that a Baal Teshuva needs to glamorize their previous life or anything, but there's so many times where a Baal Teshuva, they raise their kids where they just deny their entire past. The kids know we're Baal Teshuvas, we did so much, we came so far, but everything, it's all shtuyot, the world's shtuyot, it's all stupid, it's all so stupid, you don't want it. What are you telling the kid? The kid is growing up thinking that Hashem's world is stupid, Hashem's world is shtuyot, that there's nothing to learn out there, except for just right here in our place that we've created here. And so when the kid starts to grow up a little bit and starts doing their own research and starts getting exposed to things which will inevitably will happen, no matter what kind of bubble we put our kids in, they'll always somehow be exposed to something. And when they get exposed to something, says, well, that's not so bad. What's so bad about that? I thought everything my parents said was shtuyot. And then opens up the door, Haz v'shalom, for all the work that the parents did to come close to Hashem, Haz v'shalom, to open the door for the kid, God forbid, to go out and start searching on their own. And you create doubt in the person's head, in the child's head. And so what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take the experiences that we have in life, and we're supposed to not change Judaism, but we should definitely integrate Judaism into our experiences. Not to pretend as though I never existed until the day that I came out of the mikveh, or the day that I started keeping kosher, the first time I kept Shabbat, the first time I kept kosher, whatever it is. That too, Hashem was still the king there. And those experiences that I have actually influenced me and made me a better Jew today. I know that stuff's stuyot, right? But there's the klipa and there's the klipa noga. There's the husk. There's the things that for sure, not saying that a person should be doing things that are forbidden by the Torah. But what about the klipa noga? The things out there that can be taken that is in the gray area and that there's still sparks in there. That is something that only certain people can go and do. If you grew up non-religious, you have the ability to make shuva on that. You now elevate those sparks. And so many people just want to pretend like it never happened. Yes, we make shuva on the things that we shouldn't have been doing, for sure. And doesn't mean that if we're not supposed to do it, that we go do it still. Haz v'shalom. But we have a perspective on the world that nobody else has. And what it does is that we can create a situation where we can speak to somebody can speak to somebody else and inspire them in their heart. Or we ourselves can be Yisroi in two senses. Like I said, somebody who themselves can show, hey, you know what? Hashem created the world, and I have a unique perspective that maybe you haven't heard before or seen before, which is something that's beautiful about Baal Teshuvas, converts, and anybody really. All the Jewish people have a beautiful story. But another thing is that we can be the student that hears. We can be the student that when the Torah is given over to us, we see something unique in it, and it moves us to come up and get up. That we can have Vayishma. Vayishma who? Vayishma you. Whoever it is, wherever you are listening to this, Baruch Hashem, Hashem wants you to listen to this for some reason. If you found this tiny little class, and Hashem wants you to listen to it for some reason. And B'ezrat Hashem, it will move you to be the person that you're supposed to be. To move you to be the person to go do the actions that Hashem wants you to do. And to integrate these amazing experiences that you have in the world that nobody else has. Nobody else has a perspective that you have. And this way you're going to be able to bring in something and you're going to make the Yechidus for all of Am Yisrael. But we're depending on you. Who's Moshiach? I'm not saying you're Moshiach. But definitely the more of us that are coming together and saying, thank you Hashem for everything. Thank you Hashem for our past. Thank you Hashem for our present. Thank you Hashem for our future. The more of us that are coming together and loving Hashem and His world, the more that it's going to be conducive for other people to do so. And the more it's going to be conducive for Moshiach to reveal himself and bring unity, the true unity. Coming Moshiach Tzidkenu and the third Beis Hamikdash, may it be soon, speedily, for you to be you and for everybody to be themselves in the best positive way until we're all one. L'chaim.